Hey everyone, it's Nakul from Wicky. I know the NRL All-Stars game is on tonight, and obviously NRL Preseason goes on for this weekend and next. I'm going to do this for about 30 minutes. I haven't really prepared, no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but we're going to test this out across multiple platforms because I want to do a lot more of this going forward. So what I'm going to plan to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of a bit of a preview of this NRL season and what we're doing. Straight after that, I'm going to look into the NRL All-Stars game tonight. If you're in Sydney, it's 5 o'clock now, and the game starts at 8:10. So I'm going to have a same game multi-tip that I'm going to put out in this, the next 20, 30 minutes or so. But as well as that, I'm going to go through and break down the couple of teams that are playing tonight. It's the Indigenous All-Stars versus the Maori All-Stars. And as well as that, I'm going to have a really quick look. There's NRL preseason games this weekend, and it's not like usual where they just play their juniors or their reserve graders in week one. There's actually NRL stars out. So Ryan Pappenhausen played last night, for example. Anyway, and just to end off, so as I said, I'm hoping to go for 30 minutes, but I'm literally talking shit at the moment, right? So it might not go for 30, but towards the end of it, I'll give you a really quick preview. NRL season, the Vegas kickoff is in just over 2 weeks. So I'll give you a really quick rundown of what's to come. So depending on where you're watching, you might be able to see, I'm sharing my screen. If you Google Wiki Linktree, you'll see what you're seeing on the screen at the moment. Someone hit me up if you can't see a screen on YouTube if you're watching. But regardless, guys, I'm going to, on Discord, sorry. So I'm going to get straight into it. First things first, Google Wiki Linktree, whole bunch of social media links. All our stuff's free. You can follow us there. Our Discord, it popped off last year. We went from a company that no one knew about from 300 people on our Discord. We got up to 3,000 in 3 months. So we blew up, and we're hoping to do a much bigger and better job of all of that this year. We've got the odds comparison tool. If you like punting on the rugby league, we've got the odds comparison tool set up for the preseason as well. So there's the All-Stars game tonight. There's about 8 other games this weekend. And you can find the best odds first try, anytime try scorer, or last try. So if you do like cooking up your multis and stuff, you can find the best price. At least gets you started in the right direction. And then, wiki.ai is our website. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to talk about now because it's going to bore you. But we literally just announced our results for, I think we had over 3,000 tips last year for the NRL, and we went at just over 20% ROI. So not only were we weren't just sort of just breaking even, 20% profit. I'm really proud of that, but I won't go further because I know it'll bore the shit out of you. But if you want to look at our results, you can. Again, it's on our link tree. It's like the 4th link on there. You'll find it right away. All right, let's get into it. So for anyone who's looking at my screen, you can see that I've got the teams up. If you can't see my screen, that's fine. I'm going to talk you through it. So again, the game's in a couple of hours, guys, just after 8 p.m. Sydney time, the Indigenous All-Stars versus the Maori All-Stars. This game's going to be a ripper. I had a quick look at the teams, and they've got the normal 17 players and only a couple extra reserves. So pretty much going to play at full strength, and they're going to try to freaking win the game, which is awesome. So looking at the teams, I think it's funny with the bookies, the Indigenous All-Stars are the favorite. But I'm looking at the teams, and the Maori team looks pretty freaking good. So I don't actually understand that. So I'll very quickly talk you through some of the players that are playing. So you got Trell Mitt, you got Latrell Mitchell, Josh Adokar, Hammer, like the Indigenous All-Stars backline is absolutely stacked. So you got Stags, Khan Pereira, Nico Hines. Their forward pack, though, honestly, way weaker than the Maori team. So they've got Hopgood at lock. That's probably like the biggest name in their forward pack. And that's kind of it. Honestly, they've got a few other NRL players and a few other younger guys, but Jermaine Hopgood is probably the main sort of forward. And even he's played one good year of NRL. So going to the Maori side, though, it's exactly the opposite. Their backline is decent, and I'll go through that in a sec. But when I said Hopgood's pretty much the only gun forward for the Indigenous All-Stars tonight, on the flip side, you got Tapine, you got Britton Nikora, you got Thompson and Royce Hunt, who did really well in the internationals late last year, and you got the Hectic Cheese, Brandon Smith. So I reckon their forward pack's definitely better. I can't wait to watch their bench. We've got Xavier Willison. I cannot wait to watch him. He's absolutely electric. And aside from that, even their bench, they've got someone like Keenan Palazia, and he's not even in their 17. And he's probably like the second best forward in the Indigenous forward pack if he was playing on the other side. So anyways, I reckon the Maori pack is way better than the Indigenous pack. And in terms of the Maori backs, so they've got Jerome Hughes, they've got Matty Timoko, they've got Dane Gagai as well. So they've got like a decent backline. I would definitely say the Indigenous backline is better. But if this game is going to get one in the forwards, it's definitely going to be the Maori pack. So I don't want to talk about this game for too long because, as you know, like the game's on tonight. I do reckon the Maori team is better, but you just never know in these exhibition games. If Latrell and Nico Hines tear it up, there could be like 18-0 before you know it. So I did promise you, I've got a same gamer. Always please punt responsibly. I don't always talk about same gamers. It's not my thing, but obviously I know that's what everyone else likes. So I thought I'd cook up a fun little same gamer. I forgot the bookies, so I'm gonna have to type out the bookies. So if you're on our Discord or on our socials and stuff, I'll share it straight after this in about 30 minutes from now. But the same gamer is Britain Nikora and Maori All Stars to win. So Britain Nikora anytime try scorer, Maori All Stars to win. Couple of bookies, I think TAB and 365 have that just over $6, which I think is pretty crap. But 3 other bookies, I think it was Sportsbet, Neds, and one other, had it over $7. I think PointsBet had it about $7.95. So anyways, I know you don't want to muck around too much with prices at this time. You just want to have some fun with a punt on the same game multi. That would be my recommendation. And the reason why, if you guys know Britain Nikora, he's the guy that plays right edge for the Sharks right next to Nico Hines. Usually for the Sharks, he's probably the best hole runner for a second rower in all of the NRL. So he's a gun player. And guess who he's going to be next to? Jerome Hughes. Jerome Hughes is great with the ball, but if you remember him with Eli Katoa last year and Felice Kafusi for the best part of the last 5-6 years, he's really good at putting his second rower over as well. So yeah, that's my same gamer for tonight. We're definitely going to have a couple of try scorer tips for myself tonight as well. I'm going to be watching this game over a couple of beers, and I'm super pumped for this game. So I'll definitely put a couple of tips on. It'll be on our Discord. I might be able to get it across all of our other socials as well. The one thing I forgot to say at start, the odds comparison tool, it's ready. So we had it up last night. So sorry, guys, I totally forgot to mention that. If you Google Wiki Linktree, the odds comparison tool's up. It's up for this game as well. So if you want to look through the high price forwards and have some fun with that, you can do that as well. But yeah, that's probably my 2 cents on this game. Honestly, it should be really fun. I reckon I wouldn't be punting just head to head, but I do think the Maori All Stars are the better team, and that's why I cooked up the same gamer with the Maori All Stars. Britain Nikora plays for that team in the second row. Anytime try scorer, paying just over $7 on, I think it's Sportsbet, Neds, and PointsBet's almost $8. So I really like that price. Moving on, guys. If you look at my screen, I'm going to really scroll through the teams for this weekend. It's probably going to bore the shit out of you because they're preseason. You probably won't watch every game. So I'm going to do it super quickly. Just go through a couple of the stars that are playing for every team. Last night, the Doggies won 24-12 against the Storm. Ryan Pappenhausen, though, I think he either scored a try or set one up or both. So he had a good game, which is awesome. You got to see Bronson Sherry, I think is his name. Anyways, after 4 years out, he looks as jacked as ever. I think he scored a try last night. But pretty good game for the Dogs. Good signs for their season coming up ahead. That's probably enough for that game. Knights and Sharks. So there's a bunch of games. I think there's 8 games on in the next couple of days. 7 games in the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, preseason. Knights and Sharks. You can see the Knights team is kind of like, obviously KP is not playing, Ponga's not playing, but they do have Marju on the wing. We got Gamble and Hastings and Crossland in their spine. That's most of their spine from last year. They've got the Saifidi brothers starting. That's actually a pretty decent Knights team, obviously taking out KP, Caleb Ponga. With the Sharks, you've got, who do we have? They're missing so many. They've got Sione Katoa in there. They've got Tommy Hazelton, the bold shit truck from last year. I love that dude. I think we won on him once as a try scorer, but we were so close from nailing him at like $51 or $61 odds a couple of times. They've got Cam McInnes. They've got Teague Wilton. So I think, honestly, not the most exciting game. There's a lot of stars missing for this game. But anyways, that's Saturday 1:45. Saturday 3:45. This game should be good because the Roosters are pretty much full strength. You got Tedesco, you got Sawali, Billy Smith, Tupou, and Dom Young. I think Joey Manu is on the extended bench, but it's going to be really interesting because someone's going to lose their spot because the Roosters are fucking stacked this year. That's going to be really cool to watch. Luke Keary, Sam Walker. Holy shit. They've basically got most of their NRL team. I think they're missing a couple of players, but you really can't notice it looking at it. Manly, however, much the opposite. So remember, Manly's gone. They're both gone out to Vegas, but Manly chosen to pretty much rest most of their stars. So they've got Trebojevic brothers, DCE, all their guns are playing for Manly. In terms of people who are playing, it's Ben Trebojevic, who scored a hat trick against the Rabbitohs' fourth fourths or whoever they were from the Rabbitohs. So yeah, Trbojevic did well last week. Sorry, I know for Super Coach and Fantasy guys, everyone's really excited about Ben Trbojevic. Josh Schuster is on the bench. One of my boys, I absolutely love Ethan Bullimore. This is a bit niche, so it's going to bore you guys. So I won't go on about it, but Bullimore used to be a bench forward for the Broncos a few years ago. And I picked up that he used to be a good hole runner, even as a middle forward. So look out for him in the season if we get him at a juicy price. Eels v. the Raiders, the Ricky Stewart Cup. We've got the Eels side is missing pretty much everyone. Sean Lane returns. Ryan Madison's playing. Nothing else too exciting from them, to be honest. The Raiders, again, if you play Fantasy and Super Coach, everyone's all up on the Raiders because they've got all these rookies and we want to figure out who the hell is going to be playing. So you definitely want to watch this game if you are a Fantasy or Super Coach player. It's 5:55 p.m. on Saturday. Someone on Instagram's just saying, what are your tips for Vegas? Honestly, I haven't even looked at the game. So I will definitely, if you Google Wiki Linktree, our whole thing is rugby league tips. It's almost all for free. Anything like my opinions on the games and stuff, I'll do a potty, I'll do an article. You'll see my opinions for Vegas just closer to the game because we've got no idea what the teams are just yet. One thing I will say, if you haven't got it on already, Manly with the line for Vegas is great because Rabbitohs have lost like 3 or 4 of their backs and they're looking really shit. So that's the only tip I'll put out in the moment. Can I lower the prices, man? I have no idea. Can you lower the price? Oh, dude, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, let's get into it. So Raiders wise, as I said, guys, you're all looking out for rookies, Fantasy and Super Coach. Check that out. My boy, Emre Gula. So his family runs a kebab shop near where I live. So yeah, every time I see him at a good price, I promise there's a lot more analysis that goes into my picks than that. But Emre Gula, the kebab shop man, he's starting for the Raiders. Aside from that, for the Raiders, Wolford starting, Starling's benched. They got Danny Levi in their reserves as well. So it'd be really interesting because the Raiders hooker is a pretty important one for us in terms of Super Coach and Fantasy. Same thing with the Eels with Brendan Hands. And I see that he's the main hooker that I can look at when I look really quickly. Matty Arthur is apparently Brad Arthur's other son, and he's number 18. So one to look out for. All right. Let's get into it. Next game. So the Charity Shield is on Saturday night, 8 p.m. That's meant to be like the best game of the first week of preseason. But unfortunately, because the All-Stars is on, because of Vegas for the Rabbitohs, very different teams, unfortunately. Well, from the Rabbitohs side. So the Rabbitohs, they got AJ, Alex Johnson's playing, Ilias is playing, Colin Matongi, Arrow, Murray, Tommy Burgess. So they've probably got Tallis Duncan, one to look out for Super Coach. So they got roughly half of their sort of like regular set, or maybe 2/3 actually of their regular side in. Whereas and obviously they're missing Trell Mitt, they're missing Cody Walker, who's injured. Trell Mitt's playing the All-Stars game, probably missing a couple of others. Dragons, however, are pretty much full strength. It's hard to say full strength with the Dragons because honestly, everyone on our Discord is tipping them for. Everyone pretty much is tipping them to win the spoon? But the Dragons are full strength. They got Shane Flanagan as their coach. It's all happening with them this game. They're going to be trying their hardest. It's obviously like televised and stuff. It's a big deal. But both teams have an extended bench, and honestly, no idea how this is going to turn out. But I reckon the Dragons, if you hold on them under Shane Flanagan, there you go. All right, let's move on, guys. Warriors, Tigers, 2 p.m. on the Sunday. Warriors are missing a lot of their stars in this game. Oh, but Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, if you're, Sydney time, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Honestly, I'd watch this game just to see how Roger Tuivasa-Sheck goes. I've heard on a couple of podcasts that Ali Leitua, sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, the center for the Warriors, apparently a freak young gun. West Tigers, Jareen Buller, Jareen the Dream. GI's been working with him, so we get to watch him. You got Utu Kamano, Coruscant, Clemapap, pretty much their full strength forward pack for the Tigers. That could be an interesting game to watch. Cowboys, Broncos. I'm going to shoot through because we're 15 minutes in and I'm still going on with teams, guys. The Cowboys seem to have been playing pretty much their seconds with Luciano Leilua. He's out. So going into this season, Fini Fuyaki, he's another guy where literally the first time I saw him, I was like, holy shit, this guy is good. So if he gets a bench spot, again, Fantasy and Super Coach, you guys might be interested because everyone's going to be on heel. Lukey if he's starting, which I I love that dude as well as a try scorer. But Fini Fuyaki, depending on his minutes, could be a gun buy for fantasy and Supercoach if he's going to play roughly like half a game or so. But I'd be looking out for him. If there's try scorer markets, which there are, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, if there's try scorer markets and Fini Fuyaki, the best thing about it is that the Broncos are full strength. So Walsh, Oates, Delua, Hoita, Cobo, Mariner, Madden, Reynolds, Jensen, Walters, Haas, Pierre Cora, Hunt, Carrigan, Tapau, Baker, Hetherington, pretty much full strength. They're missing a couple of guys, but they're pretty much full strength. But the Cowboys team is massively under strength. I reckon we find some juicy odds for Fini Fuyaki somewhere. I'll definitely be getting that out as a tip. Everything for preseason, by the way, almost everything for the whole season is free, by the way. And for preseason, everything is free. So the tool, the tips, everything, all free, which is why I'm super keen for this weekend. Going into, I think this is the last game, guys. Dolphins, Titans. Looking at both teams, there's not a lot of exciting names that are playing. We got Valence Tafare. He's on the bench for the Dolphins. Most of their sort of regulars are actually playing, but we saw the Dolphins. They're a good team. The reason that this game isn't super exciting is because the Titans are pretty much playing their seconds, unfortunately. Probably won't be a super exciting game, in all honesty, to be watching. But I promise you, we'll find a couple of high odds try scorers. That's probably it, guys, in terms of teams for this week. As I told you guys, my tip again for the All-Stars game, 8 o'clock or 8:10 p.m. in Sydney, a couple hours from now. Nikora, anytime try scorer, Maori, All-Stars to win the game, paying somewhere between $7 and $8 on Sportsbet, Neds, and PointsBet. That's my tip. Just going into plans for this season really quickly. Don't want to bore you guys, but if you're part of the Wicky community last year, we went from 300 to 3,000 in 3 months. We blew up. That was awesome. We've since hired a team, a few guys to help me out, a couple of guys marketing, a couple of guys data. Everything that we do will be a lot crisper. At the end of the day, whatever tips I was doing, there was like 3,000 tips, hit a 20% profit ROI last year. So I can't promise. I have no idea if that's going to be any better or worse, but it'll be somewhere in that ballpark. What I can promise, though, all the content, all the videos, all the articles, anything that we're doing will be a lot crisper, be a lot more consistent, and almost everything on our site is free. The last thing that I'll kind of leave with, I thought I'd be talking shit for 30 minutes, but it's probably going to go about 20. The last thing I'll leave you with is, we've got over 3,000 people on our Discord. I think we were getting a couple of thousand people on our website every weekend last year, which is awesome because it all went up a shitload from the years before that. One thing I'll leave you with, so we're going to make an announcement at 6 p.m. Sydney time, so in just over half an hour for Wiki Premium. So that's the only thing that on our site is paid. Don't want to bore you with the details, but if you are someone that does punt quite a bit and has the time to bet on try scorers with us, part of what we do is premium. It is paid. There's a cap on that though, so we only need just over 60 people in premium. All of the other stuff, so all of our tips and stuff every game, the punters preview article, the podcast, it'll still all be free. Just a small part of it will be paid. So out of the 60 people, I think we're almost halfway there already. So because I offered it out to members from last year first and a few people that had expressed interest early. But in about half an hour, I'll be tagging everyone on our Discord. It'll be all over our socials with a link to premium. Again, if you think it's too expensive or if you think, or whatever you think, it's not for everyone. As I said, almost everything will still be free. You'll still get our tips. They'll still be profitable. You'll still have heaps of fun with it. But if you are someone that's been checking out our stuff for a lot of last year, you want to get in on premium, there are caps on it. So if you do want to get in, let us know straight away. The payment won't come out till closer to the NRL season, so don't worry about that. But that's about it from us, honestly. We'll have a shitload of stuff coming up. We've got a really cool announcement this time next Friday. I don't want to say too much, but basically we're doing a little bit of a collab, and it'll be announced this time next week. So that's all I'll say for that. Next weekend, there's a whole nother weekend of preseason. I don't want to get too hyped about preseason, but our OCT, the odds comparison tool for try scorers, next week I'll have a lot more time because this week I've been focusing on getting our tech and everything working for you guys. Next week, I'll make sure I make time for myself to get the punters preview article, even for preseason. We'll have some fun with that. Week after that, it's Vegas, baby. So unfortunately, I'm not going to Vegas. I can't fucking afford it. But on the Sunday, if you live in Sydney, the Star is having like a Super Coach Vegas, some sort of event. I'm going to be there with a couple of mates. And if you met me at at around 27. A couple of you guys met up with me in Brisbane. If you've ever seen me out and about, I do enjoy a beer or 15. So if you see me on that Sunday at the Star, feel free to say hi, grab a beer with me. But a lot of exciting times coming up. As I said, Google Wiki Linktree. Most of our stuff is free. I'll be aiming to do a lot more of this video free content, even though I'm not the best with tech. So I hope all this stuff's been working. But anyways, let us know what you want to see from us. As I said, we're going to be doing a lot more content. We've got a team behind us. I can push a lot more stuff out. Let us know what you want, and we'll get back to you. If you join late, very quickly, tip for tonight: Maori All Stars, Britta Nakora, anytime try scorer, same game multi, paying around $7 to $8 on Sportsbet, Neds, and PointsBet. Anyways, enjoy the game tonight. You'll see me on Discord because I'll be making an announcement, tagging you guys soon. Chat to you soon. Good luck, gamble responsibly, enjoy the footy, and I'll catch you soon.